Guys, stop blaming gluten for all of your problems. And by the way, sourdough has gluten. If you feel better eating sourdough, it has nothing to do with the fact that you are sensitive to gluten and everything to do with the fact that you actually have a yeast sensitivity. Gluten can be a dietary trigger for a lot of people. Gluten is often a dietary trigger because it has simple carbohydrates that are quick sources of sugar for your body and are quite fermentable. If you have any type of imbalance in your gut that is likely to ferment sugars, you're going to have a problem with gluten. Gluten can be a trigger for your immune system if you have certain types of antibodies created against wheat proteins, gliadin in particular. That's something that we can actually do a stool test to find out about. Gluten can actually be a trigger if you have certain types of bacteria in your gut that are triggering your immune system to react against gluten. And that is kind of a complicated process. It's actually not as straightforward as just having a reaction to gluten that is immune based. Isn't as simple as having an immune reaction against gluten itself. Sometimes we create antibodies against certain enzymes in our body that cause us to have reactions to gluten. The moral of the story here is you can't make any generalizations about diet unless you've really done the work. And that doesn't mean taking the Everlywell sensitivity test, which is total bullshit, by the way. That doesn't mean taking blood tests and finding out that you have a sensitivity to gluten. That doesn't mean going to the allergist and finding out that you have an allergy to gluten. This means actually physically doing the work of eliminating foods from your diet, slowly adding things back in one by one, evaluating your blood work, looking for autoimmunity, looking at your microbiome through a stool test, finding out if you do create antibodies against gluten, or if perhaps you have so much inflammation that it's causing a lot of fermentation of sugars. There's a lot involved before you can truly say, I have a gluten intolerance. There are certain conditions where gluten is non-negotiable, something like Hashimoto's, for example. But oftentimes Hashimoto's is triggered by an imbalance in your gut, and so then we kind of go down the rabbit hole, and eventually, maybe, we're actually able to tolerate these things. But diet is never as simple as what you read online. There are no generalizations when it comes to inflammatory triggers that you can read about and identify for you individually. That's what we do. Before you blame bread, look a little deeper to find out what might be triggering your inflammation.